All right, here's some budget-friendly takeout tips if you need them, people. We got Olive Garden.
It's an American classic.
It's a favorite. Well, there's a buy one, take one. So you can actually, if you eat a meal in the restaurant, you can take a meal home. So you get 2 meals for the price of 1.
Not bad.
It's pretty great. And then also the unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks, which is obviously the reason we go.
How are these people making money?
It's the reason we go. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
And you love Subway.
I do love Subway. I love a sub. Subway's so good. George is too good for it, but it's
I'm
fine.
not too good. I just gluten, Rachel, you know.
Yeah. So, the Subway footlong, if you just eat half of it for your 6-inch sub, it's great. Eat the other half tomorrow. But you get a good deal on the footlong.
And it's good for portion control. Because can I be honest? Like, obviously, I'm a little guy and I'm not a nutrition expert. But I think we just eat too much. Like American culture.
I think that is true. The portions and stuff, that's a known thing.
Our portions are gigantic. And I think when you can split that meal in half right off the bat.
Yep.
And share it with a spouse, save it for a meal tomorrow. It saves you money.
That brings me to my next 2. You ready for this?
Okay.
Kava and Chipotle.
Big fans of both of those.
Me too. So their bowls are huge.
I did one of this the other day. Whitney and I split a bowl.
So great.
And if you say, well, you're both little people, these bowls are massive.
They're massive. They really are. I love Kava and Chipotle. They're both so good. But yeah, you could get a big bowl and then you can even add more meat if you need to. For protein, split it. It makes all the difference.
And I try to add all the ingredients that are free that I can.
Yeah.
So that helps.
Yeah.
If you just get like rice and beans at Chipotle and you're like, it's not enough. Well, add in all the other good stuff.
Yeah.
Get some of that.
Do it.
Corn and salsas and
so good.
lettuce.
So good. Blaze Pizza is another one. You get a custom pizza on high-rise crust, or you can get the classic. But you can save half of it for another meal, right? Because it's a pretty big, and it's $15 probably for a meal for a pizza. So just cut it in half, eat one half one time, the other half, and that's 2 meals. It's great.
Pizza is a tried and true, it is affordable and it'll fill you up.
Delicious. Love it. Love it.
All right. Should we go into groceries here?
Yeah, let's do it.
So we've listed out some of our grievances with grocery shopping. We gave the nice people some budget-friendly grocery store hacks, some takeout tips, but the fact remains, food still costs a lot. And it's not like it used to be back in grandma's day. So what can people actually do to affect their budget?
Yeah, I would say 2 things. Number one, kind of look at your numbers and figure out a good grocery budget. So if you go back and look at your groceries that you spent last month or the month before, kind of average it. But remember, that was before you were doing this purposely if you haven't been budgeting. So take that number and, bring it down a little bit and just say, hey, I'm going to challenge myself to spend this much in the grocery store. And then you got a meal plan, people. That's step 2. You really do. You have to see, okay, what store am I going to shop at? What meals are we going to cook? What do we need? And you only buy what you need. And it really is sticking to it. And then Every Dollar, our budgeting app, is great for this because we have a food section and I have a grocery store line and an out to eat line. And when that transaction comes in, especially on Every Dollar Premium, when it's connected to your bank, drag and drop it. But you can watch it, throughout, day after day to say, hey, how much do we have left in this line item?
If you're mid-month and you're almost out of money in that category, you got to
be careful.
Whoa, what happened
Got to
here?
be careful.
That's really good. And we have a great article about the USDA food plans and cost of food reports. And here's the reason. People are always asking us, Rachel, well, just tell me how much to spend on food. I'm like, I can't do that for you. I don't know your life, your family needs, like restrictions, allergies, where you live, where you shop. All of that affects this. But this article that we'll put in the show notes, the USDA has some, different plans. So let's say you're single, you're a couple, you're a family of 4. You want the thrifty option, the low cost option, the moderate option, the liberal option if you want to go, hog wild. And that'll give you at least some ranges of what to aim at.
Mm-hmm. No, that's good. So yeah, you guys, grocery shopping, food costs, it's risen. We have all felt it. But again, I think being intentional in this area, it is so helpful and it does make you feel more in control. Because when you go and check out, it's like, oh my gosh, is this too much? Is this okay? But when you've done your research, you have a plan that works for you and your family, you're intentional, you know the meals that you're going to be cooking. I think it's great. I think that's the way to do it.
And here's an interesting stat. As of late 2023, the thrifty couple grocery plan on that USDA chart was $596 per month, while the liberal family of 4 plan was almost $1,600. So you can see the range depending on the family size and how, loosey-goosey you are. But listen, if you're in debt and you've got financial priorities, you might need to live that thrifty life for a while. And once you're out of debt and you have an emergency fund and you're investing, maybe you lean towards that liberal side and go, we're going to be a little looser
enjoy
here.
it. Yeah. We say live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else. And that includes
food.
The grocery store.
Can I tell you another little hack I use at Trader Joe's?
Sure.
I get the tiny little buggy cart, like the handheld. and I will fill that up knowing it's going to be hard to breach $100 if I fill this thing up. Talk about discipline, Rachel.
Do you get the child's little cart?
No. The handheld. What are those called? The basket. I grabbed the basket.
Okay. I thought, no.
I do not. Although, to be fair, it would look like a normal cart if I was pushing the kid's cart.
George. That's funny.
But that's a hack I use to discipline myself because the bigger the cart, the more room you got to throw
That's
stuff
fair.
in there.
I love it.
And so I'm like just manhandling this basket. It's 48 pounds and I bring it to the register. And I know as they scan, I'm like, it's probably going to be $100. And I'm almost always right.
So good. But you stayed in that budget, George.
That's right.
Which we believe that you can do that as well, you
can do
guys.
it.
So again, we know it's expensive, but plan accordingly. You guys, you got this.
Go to everydollar.com/smartmoney and you can check it out there. And that'll be a great way for you to just go, I'm going to make a plan for this instead of just willy-nilly hope for the best.
That's right. I love it. So George, I mean, this is a topic that is really, it's a heavy one for people because, again, food is essential. And people really do try hard, right? They really do. I think that there is such effort in, hey, where can we save money? Where can we pinch our pennies? Because they're feeling that paycheck to paycheck living. So it is difficult, you guys. But again, hopefully some of this helps you, some of the knowledge, but also some of the tips and the tricks when it comes to grocery shopping and being wise. Because I do think too, the stats on like wasted food and that kind of thing. I mean, like there's things that are real. So I think it's looking at your habits, looking at your money, but knowing like it's gone up 25% since 2020 and we don't have control of that. But we do have control over what we do and how we spend our money.
That's right.
And you guys can do it. You can do this.
I hate that food, like groceries, has now become like a splurge to just go to the grocery store and get food for your family. That stinks. But even if you try a few of these things, just see what affects your budget and see where it really makes a dent and then stick with it. And as you follow the baby steps that we teach and get out of debt, get the emergency fund, things will loosen up. Your income's going to go up over time. So just know that this might be a season that you're in right now. This is not a forever thing.
That's right. So good.